the less frequent an astrological aspect is, the more power it has generally, the more power it has for the collective as well as us individually. So we have a particular configuration coming in right now. It's operational already, in fact, but it will become more exact through 2026. It'll continue through 2027 and then gradually ease off. And it's a very positive aspect, actually. It's a 120-degree trine between Pluto and Uranus, and then the midpoint of that is a conjunction between Saturn and Neptune. And Neptune comes to the midpoint of a trine between Pluto and Uranus about every 500 years. But it doesn't do that at 0 of Aries, the creator degree, the most powerful degree in the whole zodiac, the whole new beginning degree, and it doesn't do it with Saturn as well. So digging back in history, I have not been able to find a time in history when that particular configuration with Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries has happened. And in fact, very good astrologer Ray Merriman said the same, that this was completely unique. So if it's completely unique, then that really has great promise for us in terms of a whole new episode for humanity, because I'm reading the symbolism of all of that too. But it isn't just that, you know, I love to actually go beyond the astrology as well and look at what's happening cosmologically and what's happening with the sun and what's happening in science, etc., and what's happening in the yuga cycles, etc. And when you start to draw on all those different modalities, there is an incredible convergence of opinion and activity about these times right now. We are in it. We are in the mush of the caterpillar. We are in the metamorphosis. And the next 3 years in particular, I think are going to be incredibly powerful in this very rapid, accelerated evolution for humanity. And we are co-creating this in every moment. You and I right now in this conversation are creating our tomorrows and our tomorrows after that. So we have to be much more conscious and wise of every thought, every emotion, every intention that we set, of how we are creating that. Because these are, it's not just same old, these are really big, rare times. So I don't know if that's answered your question, Emmerich.
No, it really has. It really has. And one of the, I mean, I've heard you continuously draw, like almost inviting us to draw out of ourselves. Like, what are you dreaming in? Who are you becoming? And there's this real, it's not just, oh yeah, like what's been your dream for the last 10 years? You know, what's been, you know, who have you been becoming in the work you've put in, you know, into the career that you've had? It's like right now, where is your focus? What are you dreaming in? Who are you becoming? And there's this subtext to make it big. Can you explain where that's coming from?
Yes, it is linked to this configuration of planets, but it's if I look at Neptune has a 165-year orbit, and it's been in Pisces for the last 13, 14 years. And Pisces is all about dreaming. Neptune is all about dreaming. It's linked to spirit, it's linked to unconditional love, it's linked to a kind of yearning for perfection and connection to source, actually, this sense of one consciousness. And that has just exited the last degree of Pisces. So particularly while it was in Pisces for the last 13, since about 2011, we have been essentially hatching a new dream, even if that was subconscious. It's now, as of the 30th of March, it's entered Aries, and it's going to stay in Aries until the later months of the year, pull back into Pisces. So it's like these next few months are like a rehearsal time for who the new you is individually and collectively. Who are we becoming as humanity? Who are we becoming individually? So for the next few months, until the autumn months, Northern Hemisphere, it stays in Aries. Then it, for a very final time in its cycle, it backtracks again into Pisces, last degree or so. And then finally, beginning of next year, January, February, it launches into Aries for another 14 years. And Aries, particularly the very first degree of the zodiac, is the kind of launch pad, because it's the creator degree, the most powerful degree in the entire zodiac. It's like a whole new jump to a new state of being. And I'm saying a new state of being because it's being fed geometrically by so many other planets with their mythology. So I can't just separate it out. But it really, the promise of it is a whole new state of being, physically, spiritually. The fact that Saturn joins Neptune in this conjunction, and that's happening already operationally, is making it manifest, making it real, not just a pipe dream of yearning and wouldn't it be lovely if. It's making it realistic, pragmatic, but it's also a very strong sense of becoming your own spiritual hero. Not deferring to the external, but realizing everything is inside of us and becoming your own spiritual hero, moving away from the deference to external authority. So I think it's going to be a tremendously powerful time of spiritual sovereignty, of not only psychological and emotional sovereignty, of, the more we give our power away, the less well it works, frankly. The last few years have been a great demonstration of that, I think. But if I take my power back, how is this going to run for me? And I suggest we're all going to do that, not in a selfish way at all, because we're also, that Neptune-Saturn conjunction is plugged into Pluto in Aquarius as a sextile. And Pluto in Aquarius is about plugging into community, plugging into the group, plugging into humanity, a greater sense of equanimity and equality. And how can we help the greater good? So there's a sense of, I've got a stronger sense of my unique essence. I've got a stronger sense of my spiritual sovereignty, and I want to feed those gifts back to the community, back to the collective. What can I do? What is my particular piece of the puzzle that I want to gift to humanity to make a stronger whole? Because this is a big time for shifting towards community, because there's going to be a hole in the next few years, despite what's happening on the news. Don't watch the news. A shift from vertical socio-political structure to horizontal. That's where if I'm looking at the historical cycles, that's where we're going.
Hey there, Inspired Evolutionary. If you absolutely loved this, well then here's a full conversation with this guest on the Inspired Evolution podcast. Check it out now.